Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, Malo, on football. Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday late morning, afternoon. Banyana, obviously the topic of the town with that 3-2 nail-biting finish right at the end there, beating Italy. Qualifying now for the next round of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Absolutely brilliant there by the ladies. A lot of people were questioning the exclusion of Andile Dlamini in goal. A lot of people saying potentially it's got to do with everything that happened with the Danny Jordan, the financial sagas and all of that. But on the field, I think the ladies obviously did the business and qualified them through to the next round with a last-minute goal. There was a lot of extra time in the game. There was one or two terrible mistakes, even from an Italy point of view. Back passes, but hey man, that's in the past. They have qualified, they're through to the next round, so looking forward to seeing what they're going to be doing in that particular game. Obviously still to wait and see who they have obviously lined up once the groups obviously conclude. So it's going to be really interesting to see in the next couple of games. Obviously we know there's games going on, and to see obviously who they face. But for them to just get to this point, I mean, FIFA did announce obviously the prize money. I hope that's not going to be an issue now when it comes to the latter stages of the tournament. We know obviously from a SAFA point of view there's always issues when it comes to remuneration, but let's hope for the FIFA Women's World Cup that they are paid what is duly theirs now that they're through to the knockout stages for the first time ever. So congratulations there for Banyana and Desiree Ellis and the girls. Switching topics, we all know Sadio Mane has now joined Ronaldo at Al Nassr, obviously there in Saudi. A really good move, I think, for him from a financial point of view. We know the work he's done on the continent in terms of giving back and his selflessness. That's Sadio Mane with all the charity work that he's been able to do back in his hometown, in his home country. So I think if there's anyone who deserves to move for big money, it's Sadio Mane. It's really a pity what happened to him. Obviously, under the two German managers, the first was Klopp, did absolutely brilliantly for Liverpool, winning the league, winning the Champions League, amazing career. Probably his value at the time, in my opinion, could have been anywhere close to £100 million at the time that he left after the Champions League, obviously defeat there in the final, but then obviously going on to Bayern. And I think obviously when he left, he was injured, or he arrived there and then he got injured. He obviously won, I think it was the German Super Cup, if I'm not mistaken, so he did get some silverware, but wasn't really settled, didn't really play a lot in the side. Sadio Mane and other players that they had brought in, Leroy Sané, that is obviously playing in a similar position, so he couldn't really fit into that particular side. I don't know, maybe Sadio Mane doesn't gel with German managers, because he's had two German managers, and yes, Klopp got the best out of him, but towards the end, maybe just wasn't the favourite. And we saw obviously Thomas Tuchel not really favouring him, even when he was back from injury, just basically saying, look, I don't really have a place for you in the squad. And with a couple of days to go before the obviously German league kicks off, he obviously had to make a decision. I saw that his value at the time that he left to Saudi was around £30 million. And I mean, for a player of Mane's quality, African Player of the Year, winning obviously the Champions League with Liverpool, winning AFCON with Senegal as well, you would have thought his value would have been way higher than that. Is it an African player dilemma that, if you get in an injury and you're trying to fight yourself back into your domestic clubs, your value just drops dramatically if you're a black African player? But yeah, it seems like the German management or German managers just not favouring Mane or the European clubs. I mean, there weren't even many bids actually for Mane from a European football point of view. So he's gone to Saudi. I mean, what does that mean for him? Obviously joining up with Ronaldo, obviously the league now, the club is obviously in the talk of the town when it comes to football and that side of the world. But I always would have felt that he still has more to offer European football, because once he goes to Saudi, is there any way back for him in terms of European football? Potentially not. We're seeing obviously what's happening with Kylian Mbappe and the toing and froing, him rejecting offers to Saudi, but Mane is obviously gone there. And yeah, man, I would have loved to still see him somewhere in Europe. I mean, maybe even the Premier League. I think Man United could do with a player like him. I know Arsenal are looking for a backup winger for Saka. Potentially he would have been on the bench maybe for Arsenal, or maybe the European clubs thinking that his best days were at Liverpool and he doesn't have too much to offer. In my opinion, I think he still does. Yes, he's been injured, but I think a lot of football still from Sadio Mane. But hey, man, he's gone to Saudi, and all the best for him for that particular move. From an Arsenal point of view, it looks like the goalkeeper from Brighton, Raya, has been agreed personal terms with the club. I know there's still a lot of back and forth. Does this mean obviously that Turner, the goalkeeper, is going to be leaving? So competition for Aaron Ramsdale. You know, he's been Arsenal number one for a while now, but I still feel there needs to be competition in that number one jersey for Arsenal. Ramsdale had a fantastic season, although come the beginning of this season, still a lot of mistakes that he's making defensively. We saw obviously in the preseason games against Man U. I think he does need competition to maybe make him the better goalkeeper. I still think that Ramsdale will start in goal for Arsenal, but I think Raya, who Arteta clearly favours, is someone who will create that competition for the number one jersey. And it's good. I mean, we've seen now with Arsenal, I think in every single position there's competition. Tierney, Zinchenko, Timber, Ben White, and Tomiyasu in every single position. Nketiah, Balogun, Jesus from a number 9 point of view. Saka, Trossard. So in every single position we need backup and depth, and I think we have that now. So I think if we're going to challenge and really be title contenders again, if we're going to go for Champions League and try push up into the Champions League positions as high as we potentially could finish in that tournament, we're going to need 2-3 excellent players, so there's not a big drop in quality and performance. But yeah, man, still excited. Manchester City on Sunday, obviously, for Arsenal. I know tomorrow they're playing Monaco in the Emirates Cup, so the boys are back at home. So it's going to be a really interesting couple of days if you're an Arsenal fan. So yeah, man, Malo on Football, just a platform where I give my views, man, on everything that's going on and breaking news with regards to the world of football, both locally and internationally. Malo on Football, we out.